take mine. Yeah, well, this is
The
mine.
notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press. The Down Beach Current posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Attention, salute. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker,
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Here.
Before us is our minutes of our meetings for June 25th. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes. Second.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
We will now open for public comment. You have 3 minutes to address the board on any subject you would like to. Please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Naroff, and I reside at 223 North Washington. I was asked by one of the commissioners to come here tonight to report on the excessive late-night music volume at Maynard's. I last stood before this board in the spring of 2011. At that time, the city approved Maynard's plans to build a pavilion in its garden area. As part of Maynard's presentation for approval, sound experts outlined plans to decrease excessive noise levels in the neighborhood. The 2 major components were, first, a set number of specialty speakers installed in such a way as to reduce sound reverberation, and second, a master volume control system that would take away the ability of bored bartenders and late-night DJs to increase the music volume. After a meeting with Mayor Becker, Scott Abbott, Steve Troiano, my husband, and myself, I was hopeful that the situation would improve. Over the last 3 summers, the new configuration was, for the most part, very successful. I stand before you this evening discomfited that the music volume between midnight and 3 a.m. is once again an issue. Noise levels since the middle of May have been excessive. I'm awakened at night to not only loud music, but also the vibration of heavy bass, acoustical accompaniments. Last night it was a banging sound, and a DJ screaming loudly between 2:30 and 3 a.m. to help get an already drunken crowd even more exuberant and inebriated. Why is this situation regressed? On Monday evening, yes, a Monday, trying to fall asleep, the music was once again loud, the bass level at such a level that I could feel vibrations in my bedroom. Recognize my bedroom does not face the street. It is in the back of my home. The windows are never open at night. My home is closed up tightly. I am doing my part. On this evening, rather than calling the authorities to complain yet again about the music and hearing secondhand assurances that the volume would be or had been addressed, I decided to go over and investigate. During that midnight visit, I discovered 2 interesting facts. First, there were additional speakers mounted high on the poles of various tenting structures that had been added to the garden area. Secondly, it appears as though there is no longer a system for volume control. I discovered this key fact when I asked Joe, the night manager, to help me out by turning down the music. He said he would go out back where the DJ is stationed and have him turn it down. He did as promised. I then recalled that the DJ, according to the agreement with Maynard's in the city, should not have the power to adjust the music volume. Clearly, he had control over it. There appears to be 2 violations of the original agreement: the addition of speakers in the garden area and the abandonment of volume control. These changes to the sound system have once again created an issue of sound reverberation. As a result, it is virtually impossible for police to accurately assess at a street level the true level of music noise on the upper floors in the neighboring structures. I respectfully request that the city examine this issue and take us back to the configuration that worked in this primarily residential neighborhood. The paradigm for acceptable music volume is in your control because it was established by law and was successful in the past. As a final comment, I want it publicly stated that my husband and I are not the enemy here, and I am weary of being made to feel as such. We are the ones having our sleep and therefore our health negatively impacted. No other neighborhood in Margate has this issue. We receive no enjoyment from being awakened by loud music, screaming DJs, and reverberating bass. I receive no enjoyment from lying restlessly awake in bed watching the clock tick in anticipation of the music ending. We receive no enjoyment from repeatedly calling the police because although the music is turned down temporarily, it is turned back up a few minutes later. And I receive no enjoyment in standing before you this evening, bringing up an issue I was publicly and personally assured would be permanently corrected. You have the power to fix this problem. Will you choose to do so? I simply would like to sleep at night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Narron.
Mayor, may I?
Mrs. Narron, you may.
All right, go ahead. You're still in public. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can answer. Do you want us to respond?
Well, I don't want to get into a dialogue. I just want to comment that we've had several conversations on the phone.
Actually, you and I have had one.
We've had one?
Yes. You may have spoken to my husband. I was on the phone one time.
No, we spoke twice.
No, I tried to get him. I was trying to locate him, but you and I have not had a conversation about this issue.
So we spoke twice.
One time.
Twice. I have both your voicemails on here, too.
You don't have my voicemail, you have my husband's.
Okay.
Please do not separate the two. There are two issues.
All right, I will not comment. Thank you.
Okay. We'll look into that, Mrs. Narron.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
I can trust you.
Thank you.
You can't talk logically to a person. It makes sense talking.
Hi, my name is Joel Naroff. I live at 223 North Washington Avenue. Let me first thank the city for providing the needed extra security at a significant cost to the neighborhood impacted by vandalism, drunkenness, rowdiness, loud music, and other issues created by Maynard's outside late-night Starlight Garden. But while these actions are welcome, they simply treat the symptoms, not the root cause of the problems, which is the allowance by the city of a nearly all-night, open-air party that is fueled by inexpensive alcohol, loud music, and screaming DJs in Maynard's Starlight Garden. It is hard for me to comprehend how this government could believe it is rational for a bar situated in the middle of a residential neighborhood to operate an open-air facility where music can be played and alcohol served until 4 a.m. Nowhere else in Margate is there a business that can operate this way, and attempts by other restaurants such as Sophia's and the Greenhouse have been correctly denied. This is no longer the Barbary Coast, so stop treating it that way. Other neighborhoods, such as the one near Jerome Park, have restrictions that require the facility to be dark between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. As one Margate official said to me, residents have the right to peace and quiet between those hours. Why doesn't our neighborhood have the same right to peace and quiet that all other Margate neighborhoods have? When you combine loud music, a DJ, and inexpensive alcohol with a nearly all-night open-air environment and warm weather, is it surprising that you get a lot of drinking and many drunken individuals? Police officers patrolling the area have commented on how difficult things are given the large number of inebriated individuals leaving the Starlight Garden. And given all the drunks wandering the streets, can anyone believe the Starlight Garden bartenders are not serving people who are visibly drunk? Besides being illegal, this risks a human disaster by raising the possibility of physical confrontations. We have had one murder on Washington Avenue already. Do we need one more? Worse, all those drunks create the potential for drunken driving accidents. Very simply, why is the city encouraging an environment that can only create large numbers of drunk or buzzed drivers? Is this really a responsible way to run a city? Is this a correct message to send to the public? Are you not opening up the city to potential liability if one of those drunks gets into an accident? And then there are the crowds. Over the Memorial Day weekend, patrons were so closely packed into Maynard's Starlight Garden that it is difficult to walk through the area. Are there any occupancy limits there? And is anyone enforcing them? The Starlight Garden has limited entrances and exits. Large numbers of drinking, if not drunk individuals, create the potential for a major human disaster. That is precisely why occupancy limits are created. Smoking in a largely tented area is a fire disaster waiting to happen. Yet I have seen it occurring in the Starlight Garden. Is this legal? If not, why is it being allowed? And is the city liable if the injuries result? Maynard has a questionable history of complying with city ordinances, and the city has not vigorously enforced the variance requirements that allow the outside late-night operations, despite complaints to the commissioners, the police commissioner, and the city's code enforcement officers. For years, Maynard served alcoholic beverages and played music in the Starlight Garden until 4 a.m., despite a 1:30 a.m. last call and a 2 a.m. closing requirement. Wasn't Maynard's violating its liquor license and city ordinances by doing that? And now, despite the variance requirements and official assurances that the music volume will be restricted by a sound modulating system, a non-controlled system has been added. People cannot sleep or keep their windows open, and we are frustrated. Who is going to buy or rent a house where during the summer months you cannot get a night's sleep, especially on weekends? You have drastically reduced the value of the properties in the neighborhood. The city needs to stop risking a catastrophe and take all necessary actions to provide Maynard's neighbors with the same respect, concern, and peace and quiet that all other Margate neighborhoods are afforded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Naroff.
Yeah.
No, I said thank you. Any other public comment? This all for me?
All for you. No, just stand up. And this is...
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Elliot Mankiewicz. We own the properties at 9415 Atlantic, Townhouse 2 and 3, and the property at the corner of Jefferson and Pacific. We are also the stewards of Jefferson Avenue Beach, and my reason for coming here today is to discuss the access of the beach at Jefferson Avenue. As an orthopedic surgeon, I deal with a lot of differently abled people, and unfortunately the Jefferson Avenue beach approach is horrible. This little survey that you have in front of you is the 42 access points onto the beach. There are 4 access points that are not according to the ADA, that is Knight, Union, Jefferson, and Monroe. Of those, if you look across, you'll see that Jefferson, the height of the platform from the ground is 77 inches. The highest in Margate is 80 inches, and that is Kenyon, which there is handicap access and new access steps. Jefferson has a dilapidated, and that's the best term, access steps. Nails are protruding. You'll see at the back of the packet, there's pictures of nails protruding. The railing, I have pictures of the railing in video, is completely loose. It's a hazard. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So I would like to know from the commissioners what are the plans for correction of the 4 handicaps, and I'm suggesting that Jefferson be placed at the top of the list since it's the highest from the ground up. It has the most steps, and it is the most disastrous as far as maintenance.
Okay. If I could address, Mayor, if I could address...
Doctor, just so everybody's on the same wavelength here, Dr. Mankiewicz submitted questions to be answered, and Mr. Wahlberg will address those questions for you.
Thank you.
Okay. As a result of our previous conversations, the commissioners authorized us to put a grant application in for Jefferson Avenue. That grant application was approved. The grant was executed in April. It'll be in our next year's budget so that a handicap access opening will be installed for next summer.
Thank you very much. It's great news. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Any other public comment?
I just want to ask Ed, to that point, Do we have others that we're doing also next summer? Will there be others that are going to be done? I think so, correct?
Yes, I believe, I'm going to say Granville or Frontenac, I'm not sure. There's one that's currently funded in this year's budget, which will be done in the fall. But that one will be, that came in after the budget was adopted, so it'll go in next year's budget, so it'll be in the spring of next year.
And just for the public, the idea is that we're trying to get them all done as soon as we can. It's a matter of allocating the money and not losing the opportunity to get the grant money as well.
I mean, just so you know, all the openings that we have been funded through Department of Community Affairs Small Cities Grant and administered through the county. So we've been very fortunate.
Hey, just so we don't, I heard what you said, and I want to make sure that I understand it too, because from a standpoint of getting it done for next season, that's a different schedule than the one we're doing now, which we're doing in the fall, but we'll be able to meet that schedule?
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. We have an idea. Joe Johnson and I have talked about how we're going to accomplish that so that it can be accomplished prior to Memorial Day.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mankiewicz. Mr. Sewell, sorry.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, winding its way through Trenton over the last several years has been the Comprehensive Anti-Nepotism Act. And in it, the legislature finds and declares the vitality and stability of representative democracy depend upon the public's confidence in the integrity of its elected officials and public employees. Nepotism has tainted New Jersey citizens' view on their government and led to a loss of trust in New Jersey's elected officials and public employees. In order to restore that trust, it is imperative that decisive action be taken to ensure that elected officials and public employees in all levels of government are held to the highest standards of ethical conduct. The purpose of this act is to restore New Jersey citizens' faith in their government by addressing the problems of nepotism comprehensively, to ensure that consistent high standards are required of state, county, and local employees and elected officials. Mayor, we fall far short of that, far short of it, especially with individuals such as J.B. Sless on the school board. Once again, I call upon this commission to exert pressure to have Sless step down voluntarily, gracefully, and to install former Commissioner Talby in his stead. We cannot continue to have nepotism run rampant. And his political missive violates the own code of the school board. Action must be taken, and if the mayor refuses to take action, I would implore the other two commissioners to step up to the plate, man up, and lawyer up if necessary to put an end to this nepotism. It has to stop. It must stop. It's costing the taxpayers an astronomical amount of money. We are paying over $28,000 per pupil per year. Just down the street on the other side of Fredericksburg, it's $8,800. Nearly $20,000 per pupil more. Every 50 children represent $1 million tax burden on a city that has the highest number, percentage-wise, of senior citizens. This formula must change. Ventnor stands ready, able, and willing to take either K to 4 or even K to 8 making Margate a sending district and saving the taxpayers untold millions of dollars year in and year out. I think we should begin to study this and begin to move this thought forward. It's not tenable in the long run. You're going to drive people out of Margate.
15 seconds, Jack.
So I'll use these 15 seconds because they're so critical. They are so critical to the future of Margate as a sustainable, livable community. Everyone here has taken the oath of office to support the New Jersey State Constitution, and in that state constitution it clearly mandates a thorough and efficient education. Nothing could be further from the truth in Margate. And in fact, if you look to the person who graduated highest in the Atlantic City graduating class, you'll see it was not a Margatian at 28,000 plus, but rather a Ventnorite. And they had 4 other additional high-standing students graduating from Atlantic City High. So throwing an additional 20,000 doesn't produce results. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
That's far from the truth. We put more kids in Ivy League schools and top 10 schools.
Stephen Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. I hate to keep beating this drum, but it's not just that we cannot hear what you gentlemen and ladies have to say, but it is the couple who had the complaint about Washington Avenue. When they got up here, they were not gifted speakers. They were unfamiliar with this microphone and the audio system. I ask you to please
Steve,
consider...
can I interrupt you for a second? Mr. Naroff is a nationally noted economist who goes around giving speeches around the world.
Well, thank you. They still didn't know this sound system. I'm sure Ms. Lobiondo Galloway had to go out into the hall and ask them for their notes because, like me, she couldn't understand what was being said. Am I correct in that? And I had to look at their notes to see what they were talking about. I never heard the word Maynard's, which was in the second paragraph of the lady's notes. I ask you to really consider a capital expenditure so that all the citizens can hear what's being said in this room. I think it's fundamental to the democratic process, not just to have an open public meeting, but to have an open public meeting that has acoustics to help us out in understanding what's going on. This system, if I understand correctly, is going to the old City Hall when it's opened in September. It's the audio system that sucks. And today there's miniature speakers that you can buy for chump change at Radio Shack that would be better than these. And I ask you to seriously consider making some improvements for public meetings so that we can hear what's going on. Anybody here disagree with me?
They can't hear you, Steve.
They can't hear me. Thank you.
Nobody heard anything you said.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
There you go. Oh, Scott, you're terrible. You need to speak into the speaker.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
We'll now open public comment on resolutions and second reading of ordinances. Sorry.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. There is no restriction on the ordinance on the agenda sheet, Mayor, and you might want to incorporate that next time. But I'm not going to dwell on ordinances, Mayor. I'm going to go to resolutions. So your undivided, focused attention on resolution number 137-2-15. This is reminiscent of the Ditzy Balloon Ban. Encouraging is only a short step from mandating. And I strongly urge this commission not to pass this resolution because there is no gross misuse of plastic bags except for people who put the canine doo-doo in it and throw it on the beach, and we don't enforce that. solicitor. But not only that, not only do we have to suffer that, but most housewives and house husbands are clueless as to the inherent danger of cloth-type shopping bags.
Danger?
Danger! Big D, Commissioner Amadeo. Because,
This guy kills me.
well, you can laugh.
No, it's
But what if you-
amusing.
It's not amusing, it's dead serious.
Listen. Excuse me, Mayor, through the chair, may I just say one thing?
You have 45
John.
seconds left, John.
You bring a lot of great points to the table. But to be concerned about encouraging reusable in a day and age when we're concerned about the environment and trying to promote it, how can you put the word danger in it?
Danger with a capital D, Commissioner. Danger with a capital D.
You say encourage is the closest.
To mandating.
Not right, not right.
Well, that's how we started out with the balloons, and that's how we ended up with a ban. And let me explain the danger. Let me explain the danger, and it's a danger to all your family, even your grandchildren. Because ditzy consumers use these environmentally friendly bags, not realizing that when they toss that package of chicken in that reusable bag, they are like typhoid Marys, spreading strains of salmonella, which are deadly with a capital D, dangerous with a capital D, and people are not aware of how unsanitary these reusable cloth bags are. Since the mayor doesn't read the newspaper, he's clueless about this, but I'm trying to enlighten the other two commissioners, so perhaps they will not be led down the primrose path. And if I might remind you, this whole thing about global warming is one big scam. Look up TOBA. Okay? TOBA, 70,000 years ago. Almost brought about the extinction of humankind.
Thank you, John. Your time
due
is
to a
up.
6-year nuclear winter. Thank you.
When you get back to your seat, would you look at the agenda, the last item on the bottom of the front page? Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
How many
Public
years did it
comment?
take for that last thing to be done? 141. Forever in 2 days?
There's no ordinances.
Here goes Steve.
Steve Giesecke, 112 North Lancaster Avenue. I'm taking the opposite approach to what Mr. Sewell is saying. Being with Margate Green Team, Sustainable Margate, we're very concerned about the environment. We're very concerned about what's going on. We have picked up gobs and gobs of trash, tons and tons of trash, and we're very concerned with the unsightliness and the
Danger with a capital D about what these plastic bags are causing. The danger is with a capital D to the marine animals. I'm a diver. I've seen the results of the plastic bags that are having on our environment. We are asking, we want the people to be aware of what's going on. We have gone out and tried to educate, and we want to educate further through posters and through things. We have shown the Baggett movie 3 times at Stevie Cookie's, at the Ventnor Coffee Shop, and at the Ventnor Republican Club. So we strongly encourage you to pass this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Ordinances and resolutions.
Lisa Witkowski, Delavan Avenue. Perhaps there is a document, but I didn't see it related to number 10 about repealing the Citizens Advisory Board, the Beautification, and the Ethics Board.
Your comment is?
My comment is there a rationale behind these? measures?
Yeah, it's something we have considered for a long time because all these boards have been inactive for a while. I'm sorry. These boards have been inactive for a while. We've looked at them, and that's what we've decided to do. Yeah.
Do you think it limits the ability for members of the community to participate in some of these boards?
It doesn't seem to be that way in our past history, Lisa. Yeah. Probably some.
I think in some ways, that's part of what Margate has had, or the beautification board. I've seen some activity. I think certainly having more robust boards in terms of the ethics board and the citizens advisory might limit some of the other kind of things that divide the public comment section in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Anyone else?
Deborah Barnett, Madison Avenue. Just to support what Steve said back there, in terms of reusable bags, this is a Chico bag, which we have been giving out and selling, and it's got the logo of Margate and Ventnor Green Team and Surfrider. Look inside, this is made out of recyclable products, and if you look here, it says hand wash, cold, hang to dry, mild soap. So please use your own judgment. If you buy chicken, you put it in this, wash it out, and it's perfectly sanitized. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnett. Anyone else?
I'll make a motion, we close.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
So all you got.
I'd like a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 10-2015, an ordinance repealing various boards.
So moved.
Second.
A motion for introduction.
Call roll.
Oh, Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
A motion for introduction ordinance number 11, 2015, amend Chapter 127, dumpsters.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
A motion for introduction of ordinance number 12-2015, amend Chapter 257, parking prohibited certain hours.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
I'd like a motion to adopt ordinance number 9-2015, amending Chapter 257, Vehicle and Traffic, Section 257-15, handicap parking on street.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
A motion for resolution number 133-2015, authorizing bill payment and claims.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Resolution number 134-2015, Colmar Hunt Center bill payment. May I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Don't vote. I got to stay.
He's got to abstain.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Motion for number 135-2015, award of contract for reconstruction of Amherst Avenue under 2014 state aid program to El Fariazzi Concrete Company.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 136-2015, authorizing the purchase of HME Ayers Fox fire truck.
Yes.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 137-2015, encouraging the use of reusable cloth-type shopping bags as opposed to single plastic bags.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 138-2015, authorizing public auction of bicycles and miscellaneous items, July 25th, 2015.
Make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 139, 2015, award a contract for municipal building generators to Scalfo Electric, Inc.
Make that motion.
Second?
Yep.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 140, appointing outside counsel, Leo...
Correction,
Scott, how do you-
Elias.
Elias Manos for
Yes.
James Rowler versus City of Margate Planning Board. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Number 141, 2015, authorizing the demolition of 438 North Vendome
I
Avenue.
make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you, Joanna. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. Good job.
Good job.